Hello everybody. Just gonna do what I need to do here on my computer just to make sure it is working. Be sure to say hi, let me know if you're here. Let's see. Should have done this before, sorry. Come on over and say hi. Today we're gonna talk Stamparatus. Or a little bit, not everything on Stamparatus, but some things. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty, we are on. That's what I wanted to know. Great. All right. It's cold up in my room, so I have my warm vest. My hands are cold. Hopefully my fingers worked. I just filmed a video and I couldn't pick anything up because I was so cold. So I think I'll make a cup of tea after this to warm up. All right, so let's see. We are on. We are good. All right. Let me think. What's going on? Today's February 1st. Hello. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for joining live today. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so today's February 1st. My newsletter went out and I'm trying to think what it was in there. There's Chinese New Year begins today. So happy New Year to those who celebrate. I put some tiger cards in there. So hopefully that will give you some inspiration to make New Year's cards. Hi, Anita. Thank you for joining. Great. All right. We are on. We have people. Awesome. Okay. So we are going to talk Stamparatus today. And I'm actually going to flip my camera so you can see. Let me see. My table is too small. But that's all right. We were going to make it work. All right. So I'm just going to flip and spin. So give me 2 secs here. Figuring this out. I'm actually going to lift this, tighten this. All right. Excellent. Okay, that's good. I'll just move that up so we can see it. Perfect. Okay. So Stamparatus. So this is my Stamparatus. Oops. And I'm going to show you what comes with it. And what in the world is it, right? And I'm looking at mine. It's filthy. I guess I just did a post on washing my blocks. I did not wash my plates, so I'll have to wash those too. Soap and water. All right, this looks crooked, so let's see. Let's push this down. Now it's going to be crooked to me, but not crooked to you. This goes down. Wait, there we go. This is really crooked to me. Okay, I just want it to be straight for you guys. Okay. So Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool, and this is what it is. It's a, look how strong these magnets are. It's a hard plate, and when it comes, your magnets are in the back, so there's a place to hold your magnets. And like I said, they're super strong, so you don't want them coming together, because sometimes they'll come with such a force that they crack. That's from experience, but you can buy replacements, but I'd rather you not crack yours. But they are super strong, which is a really good thing. So you have, there's 2 sides that have hinges and then 2 open sides. So if you want to use a bigger piece of paper, like a 12 by 12, that will totally work. Your Stamparatus comes with the 2 plates, 2 clear plates when they're clean, and they fit in like that, and they move back and forth, and they fit on both sides, on both ones. So you can use them interchangeably, you can spin them around, use both sides, which is kind of nice. So it's almost like you have 4, they're almost like clear blocks. You have 4 surfaces to use. Let me know if you guys have a Stamparatus, or if this is a new device to you, and that will kind of help me know what to say about it. The other thing that comes with the Stamparatus is a foam pad, and it just fits in right like that. Of course, you can buy accessories. So they do have this foam pad. It's really, I think, is it the same? It's the same thickness. It just has a plastic coating with a grid paper on it, just to kind of mimic this. So you can use either one. And I'll tell you why I put tape on here in a second. And I'm just going to use this one because it has the tape on it already. I think they sell packs of paper, and I had some, and I think I gave it away. It's like grid paper that's the same size. I think it's 7 by 7. It's a little bigger, maybe 7.5 square. That be all the things. And then you can buy extra, like I said, extra magnets. Don't lose your plates, because I don't think they sell extra plates, but you wouldn't lose them anyways. When you store it, you can store one with one plate down. This one won't go down, this, you know, a couple inches there, so don't force it because it will break. What you can do is just take it off and then just leave it plate like that. They used to sell a bag. That might be on the clearance rack. I have one, and to be honest, I don't really use it. I just kind of leave it out on my shelf or in a box. But that's kind of what a Stamparatus is and what it does. That's what I'm going to show you. All right, let's see. On my wish list, great Polly. I think you'll love it. Hopefully, what I show will. Oh, it's crooked again. You'll see why it's so great. I should use mine more, to be honest with you, and I'm going to try to do that a little bit. Sometimes it's just I get lazy and use blocks, but you're going to see it does really cool things. And Anita, you're dreaming of one too. Okay, so great on the wish list. Something to think about. It is $49, so it's a higher ticket item, as they say. But if you add on anything else for $1, which or more, it hits you that $50 threshold for Celebration, so then you can choose a free product out of the Celebration catalog if that tips you over the edge of wanting to get it during February. All right, so let's show you what I'm going to make. Let's find it. Oh, here it is. So this is actually what gave me the idea. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do on these Facebook Lives, till the morning or the day before. In my newsletter, I showcased 2 photographs that Valerie did, and she used her Stamparatus to stamp the envelopes, and I thought it was brilliant. And so I kind of copied her idea. She had hearts all over it, and I have shells because I didn't have all her hearts. She had a lot of hearts. So anyways, I'm going to make a friendship card. I figured February 7th is send a friend a card day. And so I thought it would be fun to make some cards to send to some friends. And so that's kind of what I did. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do using the Stamparatus. Okay. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine too. And so that's why it's going to get so crowded up here. But we're going to make do. You might hear things falling, and that's okay. Move this over. Trying to think of the order of what I want to do. Let me show you this, and then I can put this away. So the stamp set, and so this is, the Stamparatus is fine to use as a beginner. This particular card uses a lot of elements, so a beginner probably wouldn't have all these parts. But just keep notice of how I do what I'm doing, and you can do it with other things. So hopefully that makes sense. So this is the stamp set that I'm using, called Friends Are Like Seashells. It works on its own. It has kind of 2-step stamping involved, which I didn't do, which you'll see why. But maybe I'll even do a sample just to show you how easy is with the Stamparatus. You know, these go together, but it's a beautiful stamp set. It happens to come with dies. Of course it does. So it has this huge 1-piece die that has, I think it's 4 or 5 shells in it. It also has dies to go with the sand dollar, another shell, the starfish, and that grassy thing. But it also comes with an embossing folder. Hopefully you can see the texture in there. Let's see. That might be better. And it's the same shape as this. So like this lines up with it. And so you can cut out, which I'll show you in a second, this shape. So again, it's not really one necessarily for a beginner, but I have a feeling you guys might not be beginners. So, but even if you are, just watch and I'll show you how to use this thing and you might get some ideas. All right, so now this can go over here. This is page 27 of the annual catalog if you're looking for it. And maybe I'll leave this up just to show you. I'm going to put it behind me. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put this aside because we're going to cut some paper first. I almost need like an assistant, right, to pass me stuff. I don't think I convinced my son to do that. He's good, but I don't think he would do that. Okay, so this is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'll show you, it actually folds up so it's a smaller way of using it, but sometimes I store my plates, you can kind of see them in here because sometimes the plates get warped a little bit, but if I store them, the two clear plates underneath the base and then that way, it kind of straightens them out. But it does close up, which is kind of nice for, that's a little bit dirty, for storage purposes. It just sits a little bit nicer. The other thing is, if you get one or if you have one, I recommend putting the order number, like when you ordered it, each order has an order number, and the date when you ordered it. I just use paint marker and I put it on the bottom because these are warranted for 3 years. And so if for some reason there's a problem, you just flip it over and you have the information that Stampin' Up needs right away. Just makes it easier than trying to find it. I do that on the mini machine too. All right, so we are going to cut, and you can see these are well-loved plates. They get used a lot. And so you just rotate them, or actually I'll rotate it this way because it's a little bent. They do warp, but you just keep rotating them back and forth, spin them around. And if you store them, kind of how I showed you, that really helps the plates live much longer. All right, so we're just gonna first start cutting. Oh, did I not? Hold on. I need that was for the inside of the card. I have a bigger piece of paper. This die is huge. Oh, look it. And my magnet is sticking to it. Okay, there we go. So you almost need like 6 inches, 6 by like 4 1/4, 4 1/2. It's big. All right, so some people, because this is gonna work with the embossing folder, which I'll show you. I'm just looking at the comments. Great, I'm glad you like it, Anita. It's really pretty and super way to stamp your envelope. Yes, I'll show you. I thought it was too, and I never did it before. Okay, I find it easier to cut first and then emboss. Some people might emboss first and then cut, but I think it works better this way. So it just cuts the whole thing at once. We're actually going to cut, stamp, and then emboss. So actually, I can move this. Okay. So this comes out. Oh, I did two. That's why it was a little. I did 2 pieces at once. I didn't mean to do that. Look at that. Okay, so we'll save that one for later. All right, so that, cut this out. Oh, you can see it better. So you have your shells. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp, and you could individually stamp, but we're gonna stamp them all at once with the Stamparatus. So that's one of the benefits. All right, so let's bring this back over. Move this stuff over. Oh, I'll show you that in a second. Okay. So I have, you saw washi tape on here and even on here. You use the foam pad when you're using photopolymer stamps because they're thinner. And if you're using the red rubber, then you just do it right on the platform. So that's why I have these on both, because it depends on the types of stamps we're going to use. These shell stamps are photopolymer, so I'm going to use the foam mat. All right. I put this here because then I know whenever I'm going to stamp, I'm always going to put it in the same spot. And you can put your tape anywhere. Some people will just put it right in the corner and stamp. I have found that sometimes when you have something close up and you use the stamps towards the edge, because of the, when this presses down, sometimes there's, let's do it this way. Do you see how there's a little space in here? And there's not a space in here. So sometimes the stamp, if it's way up here, it doesn't press firmly. So I try not to have my stamps by the edge. So that's why I just move it over here. But you can use the whole, you can use the whole thing. And then what's another great benefit of this is, oh, I'm crooked again, I'm sorry. Keep looking. is multiple stamping. So that's what's brilliant about this, because if you wanted to make, say, like 14 Valentine's Day cards, you can stamp this one, move the paper, put the other paper over, stamp, do the other one. So it's like that assembly line, or it just makes multiples fast. And so by having this washi tape here, you always know where you put your paper. That's where I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to do that even with this. I'm just going to have it aligned there. I'm going to put my magnets on the grass because we're not going to stamp on the grass. Grabbing the other magnet. And I'm going to put that one there. Sometimes I've found with the photopolymer stamps, after you put them down and put them on the plate, you'll see it sticks a little bit. So I have this big shell, and I'm going to put it right on top of the cutout, like that, because I know that's exactly where I want it, so that's where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to do that for all of my shells. So this would work too, like, you know, this is a little bit easier because I have the cutout, so I know where they want to go. But I'll show you with the envelope. You can kind of put your stamps anywhere. Hi, Carol. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining. Awesome. We have a great crowd today. Perfect. All right. So this is going to go right here. Hopefully I'm getting it lined up because it's a little far away from my face. And then, let's see, there's 2 more shells. I have to remember which ones they are. I think it's this one. And this one. Pretty sure. And I can always kind of double check because I know, that's the wrong shell. I know that they line up with here, so it's kind of like cheating to find out. 1, 2, maybe it's this one. I think it's that one. All right, so my head's going on the way. Sorry, I just want to make sure they're all squared away. Okay, so I have them where I want them. And then I'm going to close this and have them all stick. And this is going to lift up a little bit. And that's another reason why I have this washi tape, because I know where it's going to go. And I'll just double check. And it usually just happens that first time when you're lining them up. After you have ink on them and stuff, they're usually pretty good. So I'm just going to double check. Oh yeah, see, it slid a little bit. All right, I think that's good. The other trick I find that helpful, close this, is I like to put something under here to have it level, because it goes down on the table fine, but happens that the stamp case is the perfect width to have that level, and it just makes it easier, especially because this is a big area of inking. Okay, I feel like I'm all over the place. This is, hi Kim, thanks for joining. Great, we have lots of people, this is fabulous. This is a new ink pad. It's Sahara Sand. It's like, you can see how stiff it is. I just opened it up today. So I know it's a little dark. When I did this envelope, it was a little bit dark for my liking. So here's a trick. You take a gift card or a credit card or something that's old. I saved these. And I'm going to move some of the ink over. When you get a new ink pad, it is obviously full of ink. And I don't want it to be that dark. So I'm just kind of smoothing the ink off to the side for right now. It'll make it less wet. All right, so now I'm going to ink up my shells. I'm going to close it. And they're going to go exactly where I told them to go, right? Because I had kind of everything in alignment. And there we go. So I could have done each shell individually, but if you're going to do multiples, so like, let's do multiples, right? Because I had cut a couple extra. So let's move this away. And let's put another one down. Ink it up. moved it too much. This, all right, so this is gonna be a little off because I was looking down here. All right, so I have one more. Let's do one more because that was not perfect. You see how these magnets like to touch? Sometimes you have to twist them apart. All right, we're gonna ink again, but you kind of get the idea of, again, this is a little bit more advanced to show you on a first card, but you get the idea of multiple stamping. Instead of, it would take a long time if I was going to stamp each shell individually. But it just makes it go much faster. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna set this aside for a second. We will come back to this when we do our envelopes. Where am I gonna put it? Right there. Okay. So we have this. If you wanted just the individual shells, because the die is so big, it just does this one piece, you can just cut them with scissors. So like I did blue ones. So you would just, let me actually get one that, this one was a little off, so I probably won't use it. You would just cut a little bit of these little pieces. So it's really not hard to kind of cut out. So you just cut them out that way if you wanted the individual shells. All right, like that. I'll save these for another project. All right, so now we're gonna emboss. Where did my machine go? Like I said, this one kind of has extra steps, but it's, if you have your little system going, you can really do a whole bunch of them. I just lost my embossing folder. You can do them kind of quickly once you have it all set up. Where'd the embossing folder go? Okay, tell me where it is. Not back there. It's not here. You guys see it on camera? Sometimes that happens. And it's like see-through, so of course you're not going to see it. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. It's not back there. Oh. This is live TV. I know it's here because I showed it to you. So let's, oh, did it go? Oh, look it ended up, I didn't know that. It ended up in my case. Okay. I'm sure stuff like that happens to you, right? All right, so for this embossing folder, it's a 3D, and I write 3D on my 3D embossing folder, so I remember, or I could just visually see, that I need to use the gray plate, which comes with this. And it's thick, so that's why it's a 3D. Some of them are thinner, and then you would just use the 2 clear plates instead of the gray. But I know, so we don't want this either. So all we want for the 3D is this one base and the gray. So now I need to find, there we go. This is what we just stamped this. So this lines up. I just have to see. I find if you line up with the grasses, because they have a little more detail, you get pretty good alignment. Okay, so can you see that? The paper is aligned with, I just did the top of the folder, and then I'm gonna close it. Okay, still looks good. And then I'm just gonna I put the fold in. You always put the fold in first. That's from experience, because your folders will crack. Let's see, Charlotte, this makes me feel like I'm not alone, always putting something down and have to find it. I do it all the time. All the time. All right, so now I think we're done with this. So I'll just do this so you can see. And this comes up and you get textured. Hopefully you can see it. It's now textured. It really looks, let's see, where's the plain one? That's when I started cutting. You can almost even see, like, hopefully, the texture. What's really cool, and I would have showed it to you, but I didn't have any left. They sell, it's the pearlized, can you see the sheen on it? It's like pearlized paper. It's like brilliant with this. So I happen to have some extras. I didn't have any that were blank. blank pages, I have to order more. So here, we'll start with this one. You can kind of see the pearlize, the texture. It's beautiful all on its own. So if you just cut it and then you could be done. It's beautiful. You can stamp on the, so you would cut, stamp, then emboss. And I did this in a light pink. You can also do your shells in different colors. So it's really cool. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It is truly beautiful. But now I know I go to this one, I'm like, oh, it's plain white, but that's what we're doing because I didn't have any more left. Maybe I'll make up a card. I'll do the same. That's what I'll do. I'll choose one of these. I'll make up the same card. I'll have to do it later because I don't have any more blue paper. And I'll put them side by side so you guys can see. But it really is beautiful. And I think all my little holes are gone. Okay. So now we're just really going to put it together, and then I'll show you the envelope, which is kind of how this whole idea started. When they introduced this stamp set and the dies, there happened to also be another embossing folder that had like the sea life. And so I would put this, I would have embossed this with its sea life and then put this on top of it. And you don't see a lot of it, but it was really cool texture underneath. I didn't really have any good embossing folders that had that sea life. I know there's some out there, I just don't have it. So I'm just gonna leave mine plain. And plain's okay. All right, so we are going to just glue that down. So you can see, probably even on this side, all that texture. So just be wary of that with your adhesive. So I'm not gonna put some glue where it's concave because then it's not gonna stick. So I'm just gonna put it kind of on the back part, which is raised, so that would be like some of the grass, some of the tips of the shells. You don't have to glue the whole thing, just enough to keep it down. I think that's probably good. All right, I'm gonna put this down. Like I said, it just fits the front of the paper, so you almost can't have, like if you wanted a layer underneath it, you have to do the same size as the card front. You can't really make that, you know how sometimes we make it a 1/4 inch smaller. It won't work. It's too big. All right, so I have a little label. This is from the Tasteful Labels dies. Let me get my card out. I'm making, and I'm going to stamp. Oh, but I can use a Stamparatus instead of a block. So you can stamp just one thing. So again, I'm just going to put it here just so I know where it's going to go. I'm just going to put a magnet so it doesn't move. I grab the stamp. So some people stamp with this and have no blocks, and that's totally fine. So I want this to go, I think that looks, oop. That looks about right. So I'm going to use this one. So stick it right there. And then I'm just going to use, this is Misty Moonlight, which will be a retiring color. It's leaving us soon, so if you like it, stock up, because I know this stuff is going to be gone. Stamp it right there. So that's how you can just do one stamp. Now say that wasn't dark enough, you can re-ink it and stamp again, because presumably it wouldn't have moved. And then it's darker. That's a really cool thing, because sometimes, especially on the big stamps, you'll stamp something and you didn't have enough pressure. You just re-ink it and go again. All right. So, move that over for a second. We're going to build our card. I need some ribbon. This is the denim ribbon. I know, Tracy, I'm really sorry to see Misty Moonlight retire. I agree with you. I'd say Night of Navy is really my favorite color, but I think Misty really works nicely with it. So let's see, what are the retiring colors? Let's see if I can remember on camera. Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider, that's a good one too. Just Jade. Bumblebee, which is not my favorite, and Magenta Madness, which is a really fun, bright pink. Those are the retiring colors. So if you like any of them, I suggest order the re-inker, order the paper. All right, so I just put some glue down. And I'm going to use glue, no, I'm going to use dimensionals for my words. Just going to cut them. And I'm going to kind of straddle the ribbon. Oops. Oh. You like magenta too, Tracy? Yeah, it's bright, but it's a good color. But remember, with the retiring colors, then we get new colors. So we'll find what those are in April. All right, I'm just going to trim this a little bit. Trim this one because I don't want them the same size or same length. They're sticking to my hand because I have glue on my hands. And then, almost done, do some pearls. And I'm copying what I did. You can kind of see this one's lighter and this one's darker. I had already had this one stamped. You know how I had that reserved, so I used it. But you can see the difference between a pad that needs to be re-inked and a newer pad. All right, so I'm just going to use this, do what I did. So I don't have to think. But the pearl's going to add to it, and the pearls look really nice on the pearlized paper. And I had one up here, actually I had two up here. So that just gives a little something, and then we'll do the inside. So I did the inside, and I'll show you, we'll do that with the Stamparatus too. So for that, I need to clean some stuff. Where did it go? Here it is. So this is where the chamois, which I showed you, I think it was last week, I've used it a few times. This is perfect with the Stamparatus. So you just wash off the stamp. I'm actually going to use the same color for the shells, but I'm just washing these off so I don't get them on my fingers and then touch something. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to move plates. So I'm going to leave these on there for now. All right, so for the inside, I think that's the right size. And I'll line up where my paper's going to be. And then I'm going to put where I want my shells. So I use this shell, it's going to go here. And then I used this shell, again, I'm just copying so I don't have to think. And I almost did this. Make sure, especially with the polymer ones, you won't do it with red rubber, you make sure that you have the stamp side down when you're placing them, because if you have the stamp side up, which I've done, you're just going to get this blob when you stamp. All right, so I want those two there. So I'm going to ink these. And do you see how there's some ink here on the plate? Generally, you will never get it on your paper. So that's another benefit of it. Just wash these because it's just the height of the stamps and stuff. Sometimes with the blocks, I know I do get it, but typically I don't get it with these. And then the starfish was in blue. So I want that to kind of go in the middle here. Again, this is all that stamp positioning. I'm telling it exactly where to go. Ink. There we go. So that's that. And if you wanted it darker, you just ink it again. And look, I have blue here, but it's not, better not, it's not going to go on my paper. Just wash this. Alright, so this will go on the inside of the card. I'm going to use this again. I'm going to do those envelopes. use the right size paper. So tell me, do you like the Stamparatus? Do you see how it will be helpful? All right, so there we go. So there's the card. Oop, my glue moved on my ribbon. Let me just fix that before it dries. Well, I wanted them crossed, but okay. So the envelope, I have an envelope. We're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to line it up wherever we want it. I'm just going to use that same marking. Just helps me, you know. Oh. Just showing you, don't do that. So you got to kind of twist them apart. All right, so we're going to stamp right on this part. So I'm just going to copy so I know, but see how we got them all on here? So I played with it just to get them all where I wanted them. All right, so I still have them on here. So I'm going to take them off here. So this one is going to go about here so I can see the lip of the envelope. This one, let's see, Mary, love the Stamparatus for mass producing. It is the best thing for mass producing. You are right. All right, so this one I had the little grass, just as a kind of a filler because I didn't have another shell that would fit in there. So put a little seagrass. And I had this guy was here. Again, and you only have to position them once if you're mass producing. So it might seem like, oh, this is a lot of work for one card, and it might be a little bit more work for one card. But if you're doing a bunch of them, why is this not working? I had it up, there we go. And then, where's that last shell? It's right here. All right, so hopefully you can see they're all within that flap of the envelope. Push them down, and then the envelope flap is lifting up. Oop. Okay, so now I'm going to ink up. I do like this underneath, it helps me ink. That one wasn't on tight. Okay. So now I have a little, oh, why isn't that sticking? Stick. There we go. Oh. There we go. So I think I brought 2 envelopes up just to show you for the mass producing purposes. Where did it go? Well, I thought I brought 2 envelopes up. Oh, I wonder if that's what I did. Remember I cut out 2 things? Look at, I cut the envelope. But I could, you know, if I had an envelope, I'd just put it down and do it again. I thought, hopefully you get the idea. And then if you want to do the front, again, I would just do the front. I would just flip it over, maybe on a different plate, so then you have the back of the envelope on one plate and the other envelope, so then you could really do mass producing. So I won't, because it's getting a little long, so I won't do that, but you have the idea. All right, so, and then you just wash it. Again, use that chamois, and it's good to go. You can also just take it off and run it under the sink. I've done that many times. So hopefully that showed you just some of the applications of the Stamparatus. There are many other ways of using it, but I didn't want to show you them all because it would probably take like a 3-hour video to show them all to you. But that was, let me just put the cards here in the envelope. Oh, and then I forgot. I'll do that real quick. I forgot I did the blue part. Put that right back. this plate on. Here we go. I put the Friends Are Like Seashells right on the back of the envelope too. So we'll just ink that with blue. There we go. Now it's done. So now I can show you both sides of the envelopes with these cards. Make it look a little neater. So that's the back of the envelope. This is the front of the envelope with that card. So there you go. There you go. Maybe I'll take my picture. It looks just like that. Okay. Yeah, it is. I think it's pretty cool. So it was a little setup just to do for one card, but if you're mass producing, I'm telling you, you will go through them really quick. So thank you. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for watching. Let me think what else. Yeah, my newsletter went out today. So if you're not on my newsletter list, you can sign up pretty easily. You just go to mailsomethingpretty.com/sign up. And that will sign you up for the list, or you can just visit my blog, mailsomethingpretty.com, and on the sidebar there's a little box, and then you'll get a tutorial sent to you right away on making shaker cards. But I send out hopefully helpful information each week, sometimes twice a week, on different things. So this was today's project. Happy February 1st. Happy New Year if you're celebrating the Chinese New Year. Today is the first day of the last month of celebration. So we have all of February left of celebration. So those are the benefits of, if you order a $50 order, you can pick a free product out of the celebration catalog. So all of these are free. If you spend $100, you can either choose 2 of these items, or this one is a $100 item, but you get the stamp set and the paper. And then there's one more. If you spend $100, you get this stamp set, which has tons of useful stamps in it. If you, during celebration, if you host a workshop or a party, and we can do that online or in person, depending on, you know, vaccination status, you can get this Camellia stamp set, which is really pretty. That you need a $300 sales to earn that for free, plus all the other stuff. You can just have different people place an order through you, do it that way, or you could spend $300 and get that. And then the last thing for celebration is if you join Stampin' Up, which I encourage everybody to join. I would love to have you all on my team and just stamping with Stampin' Up. If you join for $99, you choose $125 worth of products of anything you want. So you could get a Stamparatus, you can get a Stampin' Cut emboss machine, you could get a whole bunch of ink pads, anything you want. But you only pay $99. But you also get to choose 2 stamp sets from the annual and the occasion catalog for free. Doesn't matter how much they cost. And then you get a complimentary paper pumpkin kit. You get free shipping. You get catalogs to share. The value is just insane, just on the products you get. But then the value of being part of Stampin' Up is like priceless, as they say, because you'll be part of the Stampin' Up community. You'll be part of my community. My team is called the Wicked Stampers, and we do some fun things together and share with each other, teach each other, inspire each other, and it's just a nice community. So I highly encourage everybody just to join, because I think everyone should do it. And I'm happy to answer questions about that. So thank you. Beautiful, really neat. Love these comments, love these cards. Awesome. I'm glad you liked them. I'm glad you liked them. If you have ideas you want me to do on my Tuesday Facebook Lives, please send them to me, because like I said, sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing till that morning. So I would love your ideas. Contact me in any way. All right, this one was a little long, so I thank you for your patience, for sticking with me, watching live and on the replay. So I'm going to go make a cup of tea, because my hands are cold, and maybe even read a book. I haven't done that in a long time. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you next Tuesday, if not before, through emails and texting and whatnot. All right. Bye. Thank you.